So my name's Lloyd, and part of my work here at Ellusionist is to go through all the submissions that we receive, and it means trawling through hundreds upon hundreds of submissions every single week, trying to find out what is going to be the next big trick. So the way it works is pretty simple. You submit your tricks to Ellusionist, I go through each and every one of them, and if it stands out and it's awesome, I forward it to the rest of the Ellusionist team. From there, we all take a vote, and if the trick gets more yes votes than no votes, then you're on your way to getting your first Ellusionist release. But many of you are making big fundamental errors while submitting your trick to us. So today I'm going to give you 7 tips that if you follow them to the T, your chances of getting a yes the very first time around are drastically improved. So tip number 1, research, research, research. We're looking for new methods, new plots, new concepts. We're not looking for 10 different ways to use a flap card to change a sweetie box or a drinks label or a playing card. We're not looking for you to use 10,000 different ways to use a double lift to achieve the ambitious card routine that really adds nothing to the subject. We're looking for new and exciting magic that our fans have never seen before. If you really think you've got a new idea, do some research. Go through old books, use online resources, ask knowledgeable magicians to see if you've recreated the wheel or find out if you truly discovered something new. These are 2 simple online resources that are already available right now to get you started. The first one up is the Dennis Bear Archive, which can be found via the Conjuring Arts Research Centre. The address is on the screen. This has got a wealth of information regarding sleights, tricks, methods and effects from some of the best books ever written by magicians, and best of all, it's free. Another great free resource website is the Magic Cafe. Myself and many of my peers use this. Chances are, if something has been published before, you're going to find a discussion about it on the Magic Cafe. These are 2 basic sites to start you on your path to research, but also you need to explore books, VHSs, DVDs, and other areas to make sure you know exactly what existed before you release something. You don't want to get right to the final hurdle and discover that you're the very last man to the post. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to experts in their field. If you think you've created a brand new mentalism effect, reach out to somebody who specializes in that area of mentalism. Ask them if anything exists like this out there. Is it a similar method? Is there a similar plot? Is there a similar idea overall? And you never know, you may just find that you actually do have something brand new in your hands. Don't forget, don't be afraid to ask. We're all in this together, and all of us in the magic community ask our peers or those more knowledgeable on a subject for help with information regarding the work that we've been working on. Alright, tip number 2, go out there and perform it for real people, not just family and friends. So it can be good to start off with like your mother and your brother and uncles and everything, but then go out there and perform it to real strangers. These are the people that are going to tell you flashed, or the method's too transparent, or the trick's just boring. Performing to strangers is a key element to improving your own magic. The more you perform the trick for strangers, the more ironed out and streamlined it'll become, and overall it'll be a better effect. If you haven't performed the effect for at least 30 different strangers, then don't submit it yet. You can always tell. Tip number 3 is send in a live performance video to one of these strangers. Now, we don't look for pro footage, we're not looking for you to be Steven Spielberg. Just head out with any phone that's got a video camera on it and hand it to a spectator or get your friend to film it when you start performing. Don't just film it in your bedroom to the camera because we can't tell what other people think about it. Here's a little pro tip. If you're performing for a group and one person in the group just is not interested and not reacting, ask them to film the video for you. This gets them out of the shot so they're not looking boring on screen, but it also gives them something to do. If you haven't got a phone, ask that member of the audience to use theirs. If you don't ask, you don't get. And make sure the phone is sideways. Lastly, if getting one live performance shot on a camera phone is too much effort, then working with Ellusionist probably isn't for you. Tip number 4 is don't lose faith. It's literally happened to every single creator out there. You believe you've done as much research as you can, you've covered every area, every base, and suddenly, right at the final hurdle, you find out the trick's been done before. Maybe better than you, or in some capacity, or it's just too similar. Now for me, this is the best thing that can happen because, think about it, you've worked really hard on a trick, you're creative enough to come up with it, and then you find right before you show it to your friends and go public with it, that it's been done, so you're back to the drawing board. This means that when you have to recreate the trick again, if you're dead set on that effect, but you need a brand new method that improves it, after you've knocked down every brick, every wall, every bridge, and you have no other methods left to discover, you have to discover new methods. And this to me is the most exciting area of creating magic because you end up in green pastures that have never been explored before, and you realize that these new methods that you are really discovering can lend a hand to so much more than just the effect that you were focusing on. So finding out it's been done before is really when the fun starts. Number 5, ask for permission. So if you found out a trick's been done before, but you really honestly believe that what you're bringing to the table with your addition has truly improved it, made it a better effect, or you've just taken away so much of the method that it's become a thing of beauty, then approach the guy who's created it, the original magician, and ask for permission. 9 times out of 10, if these guys really understand their own work and understand every detail behind it and can see the value and what you've improved with their work, they'll tell you yes, because they're proud of what they've achieved and they want people to see any improvements to their own material. The worst they can do is say no. And if that's the case, you've got to just put down your sword and move on to the next trick. But ask for their permission, ask for their blessing. 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. I know I certainly do. Tip number 6. When you've finally done all that, you've done your research, you've done your live performances, you've gone back and done more research, you've improved the method, gone out and done more live performances, and you're really confident that you've got a new trick, film the explanation video ready to submit it. Or we ask that you keep the explanation video short and sweet. I mean, like, obviously if it's an extremely difficult trick, then don't miss anything out. But if it's a fairly interesting new concept and you can keep it short and sweet, try and keep it around 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 90 seconds if you can, because we've got hundreds to go through a week and we can always see the value in good ideas instantly. So go out there and perform it. Make sure you iron out every crease, wrinkle, and streamline it as best you can, because when it comes to explaining it and you don't know every detail about your effect and you're not sure of it, then how can we be? Number 7 is finally submit your trick. This is the best part. Basically what you do is you head to YouTube and upload your performance video and your explanation video as 2 separate files unlisted on YouTube. Then take the links and copy and paste them into the submission form. On screen right now is the Ellusionist website homepage. Simply scroll to the bottom of that page and look for the Invent Tricks and Submit button. Click that and it'll take you straight to the submissions form. Don't forget to include your name, phone number, email address, all your contact details, and then give a brief description of the effect, so keep it to like 1 sentence or 2 sentences, a brief description of the method. You haven't got to write an essay here, just the bare bones so we can have a quick scan before we watch the video, and then any other additional notes, such as this has been used on Britain's Got Talent, or this was used by X magician on television, and this can only give you a better chance of being successful. If you've done all the above and you've followed each tip, then I guarantee your chances of being successful are already miles above the rest. Just sit back and wait for our call. Remember, all submissions are private and confidential, and we never share your work with anybody.
So that's it. If you've got what it takes and you follow the tips perfectly, you'll be the next Ellusionist best-selling artist. And that brings me to a bonus tip. Mine is time. Take time to develop your effect. Work out all the kinks in the method and the presentation. Because I don't just want a new trick when I submit something, I want a best-selling effect. And you should feel the same too. Work hard, be passionate, and stay motivated. Because if you follow all of these tips, it could be you that's the next breakout magician of this decade.